Sorry for the poor audio quality. I am recording this on the road. Um, I just wanted to say a few things, especially about hybridization in ESO and about the direction that combat seems to be headed in, or at least the changes that are being made by the current team or the devs at ESO. And about hybridization, as a person who has been a very avid hybrid enjoyer since, I will say, Elsewhere is when, Elsewhere, yeah, it was Elsewhere. That's when I made my second character. Until then, I was staying on my main character, who was a Templar, and just pretty much just a Magic Templar. Even though for a while she did have a sword and a sword and shield, and then a great sword. I tried some things out, and at that time, those things didn't give any benefits to Magic characters. It was just something that I did for the RP, for the role play, and that's a big a factor in the way I make my characters, the way I think, the way I approach things, because I play characters, not builds. I don't play builds, things that are just meta. I play things that I have an idea or inspiration in mind for a character, for a role play, and that's what I like to make. That is also why most of my characters are not vampires. Most of my characters are human characters. I have two vampires, and for the last month or so, they've been only stage 1. And so there's a change that's happening now where Undeath is going to go from stage 3 to stage 1, and it's only going to be like 10%. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, we might as well just cure our vampirism. Well, for me, that's a buff. It's not really a big deal for me because my stage 1 vampire characters, I got tired of playing stage 3, so my stage 1 vampire characters are only really just that's kind of a buff for them. And for my normal characters, human mortal characters, if everybody else is human and mortal too, not just me, then they can die as much as I die now. So that's fine with me. But anyway, back to hybridization. So when I first made my necromancer, I called her Phantoma. That was my second character. She was pretty much. I didn't really see a lot of hybrids out there. She was Dizzy Swing, Executioner, Blighted. At the time, I think I went to Blighted. I switched back and forth a couple times, but I think at that time I was using Blighted, and then a bunch of magic skills too. I might have been using Stalking Blastbone, but I can't remember exactly. Anyway, so there wasn't a whole lot of that out there, and especially for to have a high elf out there using Dizzy Swing and stuff like that, it didn't really make sense for a lot of people because they built for the meta. But again, that's kind of what made me enjoy the game, is not being able to do things that were not necessarily advantageous, but finding a way to make it work, or finding a way to at least make it viable. But I think it was at a good place around Greymoor. Greymoor, I believe that's when they started hybridizing some of the sets, and then I was like, yes, that's great. That'll give me more options. However, yeah, when they also gave they kind of hybridized the stats on the races as well. So not wood elves, but high elves got weapon damage, not just spell damage. And for me, I was like, okay, I liked that. I didn't mind it. I didn't see a problem with that. But looking back on it, I didn't really need that. I was fine with them having only spell damage. I was still out there using Dizzy Swing, It didn't bother me. And I made my second hybrid, my third character, who was my second hybrid. That was Yaru. I changed her name to Yaru. Her name used to be Ieru, but I changed it to Yaru now. And she's a red guard. And I remember being out there in Cyrodiil. She's a DK, and she was a hybrid. And I remember I was getting like a I wasn't winning or anything. I wasn't killing people. I was losing sometime, but people noticed. They were like, what race is that? I was like, it's a red guard. It was like, kind of crazy for them to see a hybrid red guard DK out there. But I was playing it, and then I made my fourth character. And all these characters have stories. They're not just builds, like I said. So my fourth character was Proxima, and she was a Sorc, and I really struggled to find her niche. What exactly? I wanted a sort of battle mages type of character at first, but it really took me a while to finally settle on a hybrid bow Sorc for her. But at the time, these were my only 4 characters, and this is when hybridization was kind of almost at the sweet spot for me. It wasn't meta. It wasn't so easy for everybody to do. It gave me a challenge. It gave me something it gave me motivation to see, I want to see if I can make this work. I want to see if I can make this viable. I want to see how well I can make this character perform. So, I had my... I made other characters after that point, but I'm just talking about where the sweet spot was. And I think where they began to go overboard, not only when they began, pretty much, is when they decided that all skills would now scale with the highest offensive stat. That is when hybridization went overboard. And ever since then, even when they hybridized the stats on all the sets, that was great that it gave me more options, but it almost felt like, at the same time, that kind of does make it a little bit too easy as well. But that's fine, whatever. It went overboard, though, when all the offensive stats or all the skills scaled with the offensive stats. That is when... let me fix this real quick. That is when it became meta, or it became... I don't want to say meta, I'm going to use that word. That is when it became more effective to be a hybrid. You would literally be gimping yourself if you're not a hybrid. And because, well, I guess for some builds, being pure Magicka, pure Stamina might still benefit. But now you don't have a lot of weaknesses now. There's no challenge in playing a hybrid anymore. And my latest character... And basically all my characters after my first character was a Templar. All my characters after that are hybrids. But so my latest one, though, is a pure Magicka character. She's not even really a hybrid. Well, she does have some stamina skills, but mostly the damaging skills are all magic. And she's an orc. Now, you might think, well, why would you want to reverse hybridization if you're playing an orc who uses Magicka skills? It literally benefits you to have hybridization the way it is right now. Yeah, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong about playing an orc with Magicka right now. And I guess I'm trying to do the finger quotes, the air quotes right now, saying wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's the problem. That's the problem for me. The problem is that I can easily make it work. There's no challenge in it. I'm not, I'm not asking to be completely enfeebled out there, but at the same time, I don't see a way to challenge myself in the game anymore, and that is taking the fun out of making these off meta or off out of the box characters. Trying to make, and not only does this orc have not only is she a mage, but she has no class. I don't use any class skills at all. and it is all just world skills or weapon skills and things like that. So that if you were to fight her, you wouldn't know what her class is because she doesn't have a class. And that was my plan for this character when I made her last year. I didn't finish leveling her up till this month though, because I had kind of put her on the shelf, had lost motivation, lost interest. But thanks to scribing, my interest has returned, and now I have more options to, especially going forward in the future, hopefully, to toy around with the character and play around and have fun with it. But right now, it's almost so easy that it's not even interesting anymore. And I'm afraid that ZeniMax doesn't really understand that some of us enjoy the challenge of making things that shouldn't work. You know, some of us enjoy taking these characters that are not necessarily stereotyped, but put into a box, and taking them out of that box and playing around and having some some role play reasons for why they are not doing what people would typically expect them to do. You know, like my rig guard, for example. Why, when rig guards are usually shun magic for the most part, why would she decide to take up magic? You know, that is part of the character. You know, but if there is no difficulty in making these hybrids, then that kind of gets lost. You know, so. The team who are working on the game right now, I'm not sure what they're thinking, what their mindset is. I almost suspect that they want to make it so that everybody can just do anything at all that they want, or just make nothing at all matter. Make your choices for race and this and that not matter at all. And I think that's a mistake. I think that to cater to people who want things to work, even though they shouldn't go above or have higher priority than people who want to make things work and understand that those things shouldn't work, and don't get mad when those things don't work, because they just shouldn't work. So, you know, what I'm saying is, I'm not going to create a hybrid rig guard DK and complain that she can't beat a Magicka DK or a Stamina DK. I understand that I have set limits for myself, or I have set I'm finding the right word for this, that I have basically limited myself in a way. I'm not going to get upset about that. Okay, because I went in with them already understanding what I was doing. So we shouldn't prioritize people who do not understand that shouldn't work over people who understand that what they are doing just doesn't work. So I don't think anybody from ZeniMax ever watches my videos, but I would really love it if they would and take this into consideration. Please don't be so stubborn that you absolutely refuse to go back on things and just, reverse decisions. Again, I'm not asking for a complete reversal of hybridization. I think it was in the sweet spot right around Greymore, where sets began to be hybridized, and even some racial statuses, I didn't mind them being hybridized as well, even though now that kind of makes it if you were to take away that and just give high elves only spell damage, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. And I would just accept that if I put a stamina skill on my high elf, that skill is not going to be as strong as her magic skills are. and that would be okay with me. Yeah, so I hope this makes some sense. So please also watch the video for my ideas on how to improve the Necromancer class and how to buff Red Guards, because they need buffs. So thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you later.